Welcome to this space that is open for peace, love, and compassion. And also an offering to provide wisdom to impersonal inquiries and to assist in alleviating any suffering. It's an opening, an offering of peace, love, and compassion, so that today, in this now, in this here, the opportunity to experience love, peace, and compassion is offered. It's an offering. It's a constant offering of those energies from those words, from the energy of those words, to be as they may, however one may receive them. There are so many other words that are received throughout the day, whether it's from one's own internal dialogue, or from the media, or from family, coworkers, peers, those around you, riding on the Bay Area rapid transit, sitting in a cafe, or at a park. So many words throughout the day. And this is the opportunity to hear the words peace, love, and compassion. Inner peace, unconditional love, and infinite compassion. To experience some stillness and some silence, some contentment, some solace, safety, reassurance, all under the umbrella of gratitude. This is based on sitting at the compassion earth bench and simply allowing whatever to happen, because all things are happening within an infinite awareness, an infinite consciousness. It is ever present and therefore is always accessible, and is always the here and always the now, because the here and the now are both always. Is there ever a point when there was something other than here and something other than now that has been recognized by the awareness established by being? One may be wondering about the location in its name. It too is within here. It's a city label 5,000 years ago. It was without this label. It was without time. Even to say 5,000 years ago is an error, because there is only the now. Yet this is conveying a symbol of a location. Even going there, there's an arrest. The word stop. And there's only now. Any description of the now and the here is irrelevant. So I will cease going there and remain and abide in that which is. Because it's loving and it's peaceful and it is unconditional love. It is inner peace, and the inner peace is peace. Without the dual concept of inner and outer, it's simply happening as peace. And I welcome Chris to this gathering. And this sacred space of peace, love, and compassion. peace, unconditional love, and infinite compassion. In a place of truth and wisdom, and to alleviate suffering. The suffering of the mind, the psychological suffering, oftentimes and most times, and perhaps always, connected to a psychological story. Once the story ceases to exist, once the connection of the mind to that story ceases, there is liberation, there is freedom. The freedom to simply be, to rest in being without the past and without the future, both of which are illusions. Yes, one can perceive the past through memory, through images, thoughts, feelings, and those too are passing. The memory can become a memory of the memory. Focused on a few events, oftentimes one primary event of suffering. It says this one event of suffering defines the totality of who I am. That is an error, a mistake. We are far more than an illusion of person. We are that which is all things, unified as one universe, full of life and full of love. Touched by all dimensions, subtle forms of energy, gross forms of energy, all the same, one. I am this, you are that, we are that, this is spontaneously, simultaneously happening. Springing from consciousness as awareness, as witnesses to all of it. As an experience that one knows as existence as I am. I welcome Alex to this gathering. This gathering of peace and love and infinite compassion. To offer wisdom to any impersonal inquiries and to alleviate any suffering if need be. The easiest way to alleviate suffering is to, one, recognize the mind and the thoughts that are causing suffering, and recognize it's simply that. It's the mind's identity and connection and perception to an event that happens. And to actually take away the past by saying that it happened, one can say it happens. Because when brought into the now, it continues its taste. You continue to taste the suffering, like a bitter taste, sour taste. And when you stop devouring that suffering, it stops fueling the mind, the psychological mind, and one is liberated from that suffering. And there's a realization of essence of love that cares and nurtures itself. Compassion can be said to be a return to love, the love that is infinite, the love that is always there, the love that permeates all things. And it's here. If it permeates all things, it's here. It must be here. It must be now. Without being separate, without any distance towards anything else other than being here and now. In an instant, suffering can be alleviated. For some reason, the ego chooses to continue to identify as a victim of suffering. Understandably, for some it takes a process, a duration in time. When the timeless is realized, the suffering ceases, and one abides as a peaceful, loving, compassionate being. Without human being, simply being those things because they're inherent. Any being can be peaceful, loving, and compassionate. Pets are peaceful, loving, and compassionate. Cats, peaceful, loving, and compassionate. For the most part, they'll scratch every now and then. Dogs may bite every now and then. Get into fights, yet they as well inherently are peaceful, loving, and compassionate. As are most animals, when you think of it, their underlying demeanor. Same with human beings. At the core of every single human being, there is peace. At the core of every single human being, there is love. And at the core of every single human being, there is compassion. And like a traumatized animal, a traumatized human being will show fear when approached initially. Yet for some it takes a little bit more time to get to that core. And when you transcend time, the instant shows up, the instant of realization, because it's always in an instant. The time may seem as though there's a duration, a beginning, middle, and end. Yet the end is always instant. Because it is spontaneous and simultaneous, which are natural qualities of now and here, and natural qualities of the creation of form. Beyond the speed of light, beyond any measurement, because there is no distance. There is no distance in its nature. It is infinite and ever present. Realize essence, and the suffering ends. Realize love, and the suffering ends. Whether it's within or without. It's bringing anyone or anything that has deviated from that love, or back to love. Primarily the deviation is through fear, which manifests as hatred, animosity, resentment, jealousy, envy, those things that cause suffering. Those are all just spokes around the hub of fear. Quell the fear, experience compassion through love, and experience the appreciative joy of gratitude. Never-ending gratitude. Gratitude for the creation of every moment. Every timeless moment. And this opening of space, sacred space, for peace, unconditional love, and infinite compassion. I often wonder during these gatherings, and those that are watching now or even in the future, the illusion of future, whoever may come across these words of love, peace, and compassion, is it the first time hearing those words today? Have you actually heard the word love today? Some other words may be slammed. So-and-so slammed so-and-so on during their media talk, or dismantled or crushed, or all the words that one hears in the news today. Even on the Weather Channel, there's the Earth is our enemy because the storms kill people. They devastate. They crash. They're disastrous. The verbs that we use, the actions, the words that represent actions of people and the planet, animals. Through most mediums that are popular, yet are simply a portion of the entirety of humanity, the entirety of life. And I welcome Amy to this gathering of sacred gathering of peace, love, and compassion. Speaking to the words that we use, that perhaps today it's the first time one may have heard the word love. It's the first time one may have heard the word peace. And it's perhaps the first time today one has heard the word compassion. Powerful words. And the words are only pointers to something even more powerful. That's inherent. Inherent. Ponder that, contemplate that. That it is infinitely inherent in all things. And must be here and now. Right here. Expressible always to anyone, anything. And when that duality fades, when the rain washes it away, what's left is a pure, authentic, shapeless, formless love that the word only points to, yet the experience is the expression. The experience of that energy of unconditional love that binds everything and holds everything together. Perhaps it's the strong force, one of the four qualities of along with gravity and the weak force and electromagnetism. Perhaps it's that strong force that is love. And to this gathering, I welcome Nicole. This is sort of like a big compassion earth bench. Yet the space here is a little bit bigger because Facebook is bigger than the compassion bench. And there isn't a camera at the compassion bench, which maybe is a good idea. To see what comes up. Again, this is an opening, a sacred space, both here in this gathering and also here within one's heart. I trust and I hope that everyone knows that the most sacred space is at the core of who you are. And to honor that in every thought, word, and deed. Honor it in every relationship. Honor every relationship as sacred. Honor every person as sacred. Honor every animal and plant and the planet as something sacred. To be cherished, protected and held, nurtured in a loving manner, in a peaceful manner, in a compassionate manner. And when any suffering is witnessed, that even that suffering is a sacred moment because it is an opportunity to heal. Even the fear is a sacred moment. Even the hatred is a sacred moment. The animosity is a sacred moment. The resentment. Sacred moment because it's an opportunity to love and to see how strong and deeply rooted inner peace can be established. Unmovable, unshakable, undeniable, incontrovertible. As solid as granite, yet as soft as a feather. Given here and now and in every moment as a gift. If it's given, it's a gift. And it's given as a gift, there's reason to give that which we receive. To hold on to it is an error. Allow its currency, allow its flow. Allow it to be. Allow it to emerge. I believe yesterday I was speaking to the word emergency. In an emergency, what emerges is compassion. Seeing a child that needs help with homework It's an emergency. I need help with homework. Or a car on fire. Or home's on fire. Or a hurricane that's approaching. Or someone laying in the street who needs food. Or shelter or clothing. The emergency helps compassion to emerge if chosen. And to allow those qualities of life to exist in their natural state as loving, as unconditional love. This is a promise. Perhaps the only promise. The promise of unconditional love. That it will and it shall provide. This space is open for any impersonal inquiries to alleviate suffering. Bring the inherent peace, love, and compassion into the collective consciousness such that the world paradigm continues its shift towards home. And then we can truly call the planet home. And in this home, when it becomes dark, we turn on our light. So that every room is illumined with peace and love. Every corner and every crevice of this home receives the light. So that no child is left behind. No child is left behind. There's gratitude in knowing that this miracle is a gift. This, 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 this miracle, this coming together of form, this gathering, and language. Language is a miracle. This technology is a miracle. That energy has come together in form to create so much love and so much peace. That cares for all. In its pure potential, and its purest probability. Its purest probability. The story is only temporary. That which underlies the story is infinite. The story is thoughts passing by, thoughts passing by, thoughts passing by, thoughts passing by. You catch a thought, you add it to the story. You catch a thought, you add it to the story. You catch a thought, it's a recipe that marinates within one's mind and becomes attached to personal identity. To say, I'm a person that suffers, and then the victimhood starts. And then that becomes separate. And then the individual is created, constructed. Peace and love and the energy of consciousness provides the opportunity for that to drop, because it's a space that even engulfs that, and it's an imagined space. The space that can actually witness that must be greater than the actual suffering itself. That's why it's embraced. That's why compassion embraces suffering. Suffering cannot embrace compassion. Compassion can only embrace suffering, because compassion is greater than suffering. Know that. Know that. And that's grand. That's a grand realization. And that's how grand compassion is. To realize essence. To know the extent of unconditional love beyond any individual, beyond any group of individuals, beyond any philosophy, beyond any thought, individual or collective thought gathering, and consensus of truth. A truth that's beyond consensus or facts. A truth so deep, a compassion so deep that it embraces everything. Unconditionally and infinitely. Mercy and blessings for all. Unimaginable. life is only a glimpse of the extent of that mercy and that compassion. Even the life form is an example of that infinite compassion. Yet, our gift as life enables every single human to recognize and realize that essence. And that is the gift. That is our current gift. The gift of life. Perhaps the here and perhaps the now is stored with something to realize beyond even life. In the grand scheme of things, life started yesterday. There was a space before life. And we are that space, that continuous pervading consciousness of an awareness that says I am, that recognizes I am, that knows I am, that knows that there's existence that underlies life. And from that space of being, all arises. Experientially. And one sits at home, deeply rooted in peace, loving unconditionally, and expressing compassion in all its infinite forms. If there is someone around you as you watch this, say the word love to them. Say the word love. Say the word love. Much love. Smile to them. Make loving eye contact. Much love. And for now, there's an offering of stillness and silence. The pointing has been given through words and gestures and through sound. Now is an offering of stillness and silence. Thank you. Much gratitude to those who gathered, and inner peace, unconditional love, and infinite compassion are with us and all, always.